Queen, Waverly Wismer.
Well, hello everyone. I just want to start off by saying what an absolute honor it is that I get to be up here and represent our $1.3 million untouchable unit. It took so much hard work from each and every single one of these ladies for me to be standing before you. So if you are a part of the Untouchables, please stand up so everyone can see who you are. I am so honored and proud to lead each and every single one of you. And without you, I would not be up here. I just want you to know that I love and appreciate every single one of you. Well, like I said, I am so honored to get to be up here. As most of you know, or can probably tell, I am 30 weeks pregnant, and so my emotions are going to be all over the place. So while I'm up here, I will probably laugh, definitely cry. So I hope you're ready for these next short, but also very long, 15 minutes. Because if you know me and you know my personality, then you know that this is absolutely terrifying for me to be up here. I want to say that to give you hope, because if you've ever sat out in the audience during any part of seminar and you've thought to yourself, I want to do what they're doing, or I want to be up there speaking, but I could never do that, and you're scared, trust me, I'm right there with you. I used to think the exact same thoughts. My greatest fear is public speaking, but yet this year, I somehow managed to get the part, not once or twice, but 3 times. So know that you can do and achieve whatever you want in your business. And you do not have to be like anyone else that stands up here. You get to be you. And that is why I love this business so much. So just a little backstory of me and who I am, and really how I got started in my business. Like they announced, I am 23 years old, and I am a wife to my junior high sweetheart, Garrett, with who I will celebrate 10 years of being together in October, and almost 3 years of marriage. I am a wife, I'm a mama to our precious Wells baby, as we call him, who you got to see up here last night, and soon to be mom to my girl, McKinney Jean, that is on the way. My grandmother is independent National Sales Director Emeritus Scarlett Simpson. My mom is National Sales Director Kimberly Copeland, and my aunt is Top Sales Director Crystal Hunsucker. So I guess you could definitely say this is a family affair. I have grown up my whole life in Mary Kay. My mom started her business when I was 9 months old, and so when I say my blood runs pink, I truly mean it. It is what I've known my whole life, and growing up and seeing the life that my mom got to live out is what really drew me to this business. As I got older, I started noticing that she was one of the only ones who was always at every single game, pep rally, event, beta club, award ceremony, whatever I had going on, she was there at every single thing. She was really living out the values of this company with God first, family second, and career third. And that's what really pulled me into this company. I did end up graduating a year early so that I could hit the ground running as soon as I turned 18, and that's exactly what I did. My first year in, we became the youngest unit to achieve earning the use of the pink Cadillac. We did the $550,000 unit club, and I was the queen of sharing. I had pushed so hard all year long that once I was done, I took a little break after seminar. Well, my break turned into a 2-year break, and then I got engaged, and then married, and then pregnant, And then I finally had my little boy, which now resulted in a 4-year break. Has anyone been there before? So during these years, my incredible unit still did a unit club every single year, which was absolutely amazing. But I knew deep down in my heart that I was not living up to my full potential with my business. When I started to dive back into my business, it was during virtual times. And let me say that being an introvert and having to do everything on Zoom and Facebook Live is terrifying. Can all the scared introvert girls say amen? So what did I do? I froze up and I did nothing. So fast forward to March of last year, 2022, we were heading to our first in-person conference since COVID. I had a 7-month-old at the time that had only left at home for a long period of time with my mom or my husband. My mom being a national sales director meant she was going, and my husband works daily. And so I had to leave him with someone for the first time, other than those two, and it was really hitting me hard. I remember going to my husband and crying about not wanting to go, which I had never done before. And as someone who has never missed a single event, my rule is death or dilation, I am there, which is pretty comical now, considering I've had to be wheelchaired everywhere. But I am here nonetheless. So I just remember talking with him and crying and saying I didn't want to go. And he looked at me and he said, well, that's when you know that you need it the most. And so I loaded up my car and I headed to the Woodlands. And on my way down there, I was so emotional about leaving Wells and remember just praying to God and saying, give me a sign that this is where I'm supposed to be. And as I turned on my Spotify, this song, I Need a Revival by the band King came on. And in the song, it says, it's not like me just to give up, so I'm bringing you my dry bones, breathe in me again. I need my heart to keep hoping, so I'm calling out, I need a revival. Give me the fire that I haven't felt in so long. Bring me back to the days when wonder, work, and power were alive in me. And it was something that hit me so hard. A song that I had listened to 100 times before, just had a different meaning. And I was like, okay, God, I see you. I'm right where I need to be. And so this song became my theme song for the year. And so as I get to career conference, our first event with my mom was absolutely incredible. And then the company event starts. And all of a sudden, I became the picture girl, as I like to call it. You know, the girl who's on the sidelines when everyone else is winning, cheering on everyone else, taking all of the pictures. That was me. So here I am, feeling so poor and pitiful about myself when National Sales Director Tariq Brinkley walks up to me, who I might add, I was at New Director Education with. So talk about kicking me when I'm down, okay? She's a new national. And so I start giving her every excuse I can think of why I'm not up there, and basically just how pitiful I've been. And she stops me, and she looks at me, and she says, look at this. And she pulls out her phone, and she pulls up a picture of her and I, and she had just sent it to someone, and she looks at me and she says, girl, once you're bad, you are always bad, and don't ever think differently. And something that was so small and so easy for her to say, and just speak into me, it sparked something in me that I didn't know that I had anymore. And so this was the start of me really getting my spark back and finding my purpose in this company again. So I went home, excited to get back to work, but not really knowing where to start. I was so overwhelmed with everything that was virtual that I really didn't know that if in-person parties were a thing anymore. So what did I do? I did nothing. And I did a little more of nothing, and then seminar rolled around. Now, a few months back, I had just spoken to Garrett, my husband, about the fact that I didn't know if this was what I wanted to do anymore. I'd gotten so lost and caught up in everything that I hadn't been doing or achieving, and I'd forgotten just how great I was at this business at one point. I had become a mom and a wife, and that was it. Now, do not get me wrong. Those things are the greatest joys of my life. I truly believe that I was put on this earth to be a mama. But that was all I had become. And I was completely lost with who I was as a person, and I craved and needed more. We had decided that we were gonna buy a house, and we needed more money to do so. And so when me and Garrett started talking, he said that he might get a second job. And so it really hit me. He already worked very hard and a lot of long hours because his family owns an appliance company. And so that meant that it was gonna be even more time of us not seeing him. So we started talking about me doing different things, maybe me going back to school, all the things. And he finally said, well, why don't you just start working your Mary Kay business again? He said, you were so good at it when you did it, so just get back to work. Thank you, Garrett, for slapping me back into reality. So I thought about it, what I wanted to do for a few months, which then led me to seminar. And this is why I believe that events in general, but especially seminar, are so important for you to be at in person. Because what I felt from being in this room is something that I would have never gotten if I were at home watching a screen. I fell back in love with this incredible company. And as I watched moms debuted as national sales directors with their babies on stage, I watched queens who were being crowned with their babies, getting their Mickey stuffed animal. I saw dreams being accomplished and women's lives being changed. And so I decided I was going home and getting to work because my baby boy Wells was getting his Mickey. So the first week of August, I finally got the ball rolling and started having personal parties again. I had one party with 3 ladies and sold a lot of product within a span of 2 hours, and after that, I was back. I had earned a gold medal, and then life happened. I won't go into all the details, but I started having some health issues, and so one day, I woke up and decided that I was changing everything. I started reading books, which is something I have not done since junior high. I started waking up at 5 a.m., then coming home, waking up at 5 a.m. to work out, then coming home to go back to sleep, because let's not get it twisted, I'm not a 5 a.m. girl. I started doing research on me and just really focusing on my mental health and well-being, and I started trying to work more to keep my mind off of it. I had no one in my unit who was working, but I knew that, like Mary Kay Ash has always said, there is power in one, and that one was me. And so I really got the ball rolling with party after party. And then the end of September rolls around, and I get this incredible girl on my team, Lindsay Castleberry. And all of a sudden, she became my one, and everything shifted in my business. We were back in person, and it was amazing. There's something about being eyeball to eyeball and knee to knee that is truly unmatched. We were having big parties and even bigger grand openings. And then I got another incredible girl on my team, Cameron Tucker. And y'all, we really just ran together. There's no other way to explain it. Like I said last night, my blinders were on, my head was down, and we were just working our tails off. And then comes December, and at this point, I had parties every single day in October, November, and now December, leading up to December 19th, right before Christmas. There was a point when my husband one night asked me, he said, "Am I gonna see you a little more? Because you're always gone working." I said, "Not right now, but I promise it will be so worth it." Man, has it been worth it. But just when I thought what I had happened in August was hard, December said, "Watch this, my Brenda got sick." Because life is always gonna happen. It went. Me and my husband became his caretakers, it was really, really hard. And so when he got out of the woods, thank you, Jesus, we went back to work after Christmas. Both Cam and Lindsay were becoming independent sales directors, and we were all of a sudden on track for $1 million at Leadership Conference. I was so inspired and ready to get home and wrap them up and get my new girls into DIQ. When the day after Leadership Conference, I found out that I was pregnant. I would be completely lying if the absolute first thing that popped in my head wasn't the fact that 9 months would be September. And what happens in September in the Mary Kay world? The top director trip. Well, I had felt like everything I worked for was completely ripped out from under me. Was I excited for another baby? Absolutely. But like I said earlier, I was made to be a mama. But was I upset at the timing because this wasn't my plan? Considering this was my first trip, absolutely I was. So I had a pity party for about 2 weeks quietly to myself and maybe to my husband. But then I got back to work and got over it. I decided that the legacy that I am building for myself and my children are far worth more than just giving up. So we kept working with our heads down and our blinders on. And for 10 months, we really worked this way. And look where it has landed us. Now you might be sitting there thinking, why is she telling us about all these things that happened over the year? My point is that life is always going to happen. We have to stop using life as an excuse with our business. You know, people want to ask me, what is the secret to what you've been doing? And I'm here to tell you that the secret is that when life happens, you keep going with your head down and your blinders on. You don't stop in your tracks and derail, because there's always going to be life, and you just have to keep pushing forward. If you work this business like a hobby, then you will be rewarded like a hobby. And when you work this business like a business, then you will be rewarded that way. When I think of where I was last seminar compared to where I am, it is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Because last year at seminar, I sat here with me, myself, and I. This year, I sit here with 8 sales directors and 58 beauty consultants with us. So I'm here to tell you that just because life throws things at you, and trust me, it will, you just have to keep going with your head down and your blinders on, because your legacy that you are creating and the life that you are designing for yourself and your family are worth more than you ever could imagine. The devil always knows when you're up to something incredible, and he will try to stop you every single chance he gets, but you just have to keep going, because you never know whose dreams are attached to yours. Had I not made the decision to get back to work or continue working when all of these things happened, then these ladies in the audience with me would not be sitting here with their lives completely changed. Had my grandmother, Scarlett Simpson, not given this company a try, where would my mom's business and life be? And had my mom not decided to really work this business and really live out our company's philosophy of God first, family second, career third, then where would I be? So I want to ask you, what dreams are you dreaming of this seminar? Do you have your goals set? Because there is nothing that is too big of a dream to dream in this company. Y'all, we went from a $300,000 unit club to a $1.3 million unit club this year. So if you're sitting there and you're new, or even if you're seasoned, know that you can have a jump just like that. So if you have your dreams, then set them big and shoot for the stars, because you are worth so much more than giving up on yourself and your dreams. Because girls, Once you're bad, you are always bad. I hope you had the most incredible seminar, and thank you so, so much.
Let's hear it again for your #1 sales director, future executive senior sales director, Waverly Wismer.